Well, hello, people. Miss Universe is over, and a lot of people have a lot of emotions. A lot of people are heated or underwhelmed or overwhelmed, happy or sad, and this is all valid. But I think we wanted to take a little different take today and talk about not the people who are like robbed or unplaced. Let's talk about the girls who were big surprises placing in the top 30 or even further. And it's just like the way that no one, like in any predictions, anyone really saw them coming. I saw some of them were like the bubbling up side of that, but no one really expected them to be actually in top 30. So
Yeah.
I think it's the best approach right now.
Yes, I think it's good to know that this year we kind of like had the hope to be able to see countries that are usually not placing high, placing high. We wanted to see that kind of like a different take on the powerhouses that are usually always placing and see new talent coming in, right? So let's start. Let's
start. Drum
list
rolls.
here.
And what we included in this list weren't the ones who usually, like, sometimes it is the way that this is a powerhouse country, but in that particular year, it's not like a big deal or not hyped or something like that. But we didn't include those countries. We included only those countries who, as a whole country, were a surprise to see.
Yes.
And I think the best thing is to start with the way that they were announced. I think this is the way we saw them. So no particular order for us, but from what they said. And for me, the biggest surprise was Serbia.
Yeah.
And I'm like in the best possible way, because if I'm not wrong, then this particular Miss Serbia has been to almost all of the pageants in the world before.
Since what year? Because it's been like, that was like every year, like the one year after the other. She's been in every single major pageant.
And I'm not sure right now, we didn't fact check how she has been doing before in the other competitions, but it has to be some kind of advantage of just experiencing it all. Because I believe in Serbia, it's not a big deal in that sense too. Like there is no possibilities to do many local competitions before you go to internationals. And I think this is kind of unique opportunity she has had to experience different cultural rooms, and it had to be the advantage that she really stood out.
Yeah, and I mean, I think like she was not in many top picks. She was not like I didn't put her in kind of like my top 30. But then once you start talking about that, like obviously she's had that international experience. She knows how to behave at an international pageant. So obviously that has played in her favor.
Yeah. And I think this is the thing about knowing and actually executing, because like most of the girls know how to behave, but if you're there 3 weeks, you get exhausted and your real self starts coming out, and you're just exhausted and tired, and like you're hungry, you're annoyed, you're bothered, and because she's had so many of those experiences, she know what to do when these moments come.
Yes.
And also I think her stage, like I had her in a list, like I did this kind of list that who stood out in a swimsuit preliminary. I didn't do it in a way that I thought they were going to advance. I just like, you did well. Like this was a solid performance, and she was in that list. So her walk was solid. So probably if you had with the preliminaries, the interview and stuff like that, she's already executed all of that combined.
I guess yes, but I think this must be more than just a stage, because I do believe there were all the girls that had a better stage than her that didn't place at all.
Absolutely.
So she has that kind of, as you said, like she's been competing so many times that she knows exactly how to not perform only on a stage, but also the attitude that you need to have, how you need to behave, and all of those things.
Most of the times, I think, like especially some local level stuff, if you haven't competed internationally, is that it's very hard to grasp how different is when you are being judged 3 weeks or 2 evenings. And most of the local stuff that I've experienced now living here is that the only stage matters. Like they sometimes, like it's a stage. There's not big influential marks, like if you're always late, if you are this, you're that. These are like not, this doesn't have that big of an influence, but there it has.
Yeah, let's not take that into account. Okay, let's go and see our next one. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. And this is someone that I had added in my top 30 because I am used to seeing this country sending girls to international pageants with not great walk or performance. And I was pleasantly surprised. And this is China. I think she came very, very strong.
Yeah.
She had an incredible stage. And I was like, wow, they did their homework.
Yeah. And that was also really pleasant surprise for me. And what I would say is that last time I remember China was when I competed.
Yeah.
And China was taller than me, and I'm 6 foot tall. Like she was tall. Like I a little bit looked up. Like she was very standout look and everything. So yeah, I don't remember China. Like she has. We looked with fact check. She has placed after 2011, but I don't really remember.
No, I don't remember.
So for her, like them sending someone who's actually there was very, very good. And especially like you mentioned, the walk. Usually you're like, oh, China gets in, but it was like, oh, wow, good. You know, like it's just good.
Yes. Really good level. Okay, next we have Japan.
Japan, like used to be a big powerhouse. We've had winners, we have everything, but this time Japan was very, very good looking.
Yeah.
And in a way of good looking that I've had her into my list of like basically I made a like wish list just purely I'm like, oh my god, you're just wow, like and that she was in my wish list.
Yeah.
Maybe not the stage was decent, but I wasn't like, yeah, wow. But I think in general how I saw her everywhere being present, I think I was just like, wow.
Yeah. No, I think I mean, it's been a very pleasant surprise to see so many Asian countries making it, but Asian countries they usually don't really sound that much in placing. So we had China, we had Japan, and now we have Macau.
Yeah, and I think if you add now, like maybe China for a lot of people is not maybe not like the big surprise because other competitions they still place.
Yeah,
but like having Macau, I think Macau is placed like in Miss World and stuff, but not in Miss Universe. Like
I think they've never been in Miss Universe.
So we can't like say I don't know. Just if you know better, just comment down below. But I don't know, and I don't remember any Macau's representative
Me neither.
being like standout or fighter for the crown. Because like 2011, China was fighter for the crown. She was top 5, and a lot of people expected her to be like even higher. But now having and the Macau for me had a very unique look. For me, she looked a bit European, borderline European, but her hair and the way she styled herself was very standout. So I remember her pictures, I remember her styling, I remember those kind of things. The stage was fine, but I think the day-to-day styling, day-to-day presence, I think that was the thing that really, got her the part.
Which basically shows that it's important to see like the way that you style yourself, the way that you are on social media, because that's what people are watching mostly every time. And this is one of the things that I was a bit disappointed about this year. Like many of the contestants have not really been posting their outfits. They have not really been posting much out there. And I think that might have been played not on their favor. And then maybe contestants like Macau that have been more present and more posting and everything like that allows you to remember them more. And then obviously that goes with the judges too.
Yeah, and I think it's just around the real thing that like this is a big organization looking for a spokesmodel. They're not looking for a random winner, and they want this top 30 to be as diverse as possible. So I think we can't say there's quotas that they need to fill, but I think it's just like they were like telling judges to like, this is the thing. You're not only looking to have 30 best Latinas, like look from all of the things, like be open-minded about all of the continents because they added the continental queen. So be open-minded about all of the continents equally. Like don't just focus on like who's the powerhouses, who's this, who's that. And I think this maybe brought in like more, whoa, who's that? More of those countries than usual, because every year there is one. Every year there is a one surprise in top 10 and top 5. There's always something like that. But this year, top 30, yeah, like a next one, we would say Malaysia. Like
Malaysia.
I think she hasn't never placed, or what was it? Like last time she
last time
placed
was like 1990.
1970. 1970 was the last time Malaysia placed. And I had an interesting thing written down after the swimsuit preliminary was that I absolutely loved her until the last turn. Until the hip turn. But she just blew my mind until the hip turn.
Maybe that's actually also like a strategy, because in a way made her remember.
Yeah, because we were talking about, I think the judges had already placed down their scores by the last turn, but it also got the like later recognition, and she was like out there and people were talking about her, so it could have been easily, you know.
Good strategy.
Yeah, I think it was solid, like performance, and you know she's drop dead gorgeous, like she's very gorgeous. So yeah, I'm very happy. Like with all of those people we're talking about, we are sincerely happy because this is something we're usually not seeing. Yeah. So Malaysia, we're very happy for you.
Cool. And then we have one more.
Yeah.
Right.
So this country has placed before, and this country has had some solid performance before, who have been left out by, you know, like this kind of, oh, she was robbed, and like this kind of attitude. But this year, I think no one really expected Aruba to be in. Like it wasn't like Aruba is like doesn't have a sash factor, but they're like, you know, not like a powerhouse, but not in a like placement as Malaysia.
I had her in my standouts from the prelims. I think she had a really well balanced body, like her look was really well balanced, and she had a very, very nice walk.
Yeah, so absolutely, like she was such a pleasant surprise in a way that when you see that actual, you know, we're talking about that stage is not the most important, but sometimes it's like you're very like, oh, the stage was so good, why she was not in there? Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, and then she was just in there and showing that whatever country you are, if you do a solid performance, you can be in there. You know, so I think that was also very, very nice surprise.
No, I agree. I agree. And I mean, like, this is something that is, like, we mention it all the time, right? There is things that we don't see, like no one of us is seeing when we are predicting and when we're watching the pageant. There is so many things that happen backstage.
And that's the thing. When you're starting to collect those little snippets, what Anne was saying, we want a healthy winner. We want someone who's willing to work hard, who's willing to have extensive travel diary. Like all of those little things start playing. They are little hints, what they're looking for. And the thing is that if the judges are briefed with that, so they are not just looking what is the performance right now in front of us, they are going to look, is this girl with this attitude, with this aura, able to do the job? I'm not looking just the best showgirl, I'm not looking the best walk, I'm not looking for maybe not even the best answer, but is the girl that I'm looking right now, who's giving that answer, do I see her doing the Miss Universe duties? Yeah. And I think that's the main aspect too. Like, look, sometimes the best polished, neat, itsy bitsy, I don't know, rehearsed answer is not the best. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So with these kind of things in mind, you know, and relying on our previous experience in being at the internationals and seeing all these things rolling out in person from inside perspective, there's so many little aspects, and we just want to bring these kind of little aspects closer to you guys, just because I think a lot of don't have that perspective, or they don't have the courage to express that.
That second one is important.
Anyway, yes, but let's end with this happy note, and we are happy for those countries who did really place the rest of them too, rest of the top 10 as well. Like, congratulations. And we're always saying, no, everyone who placed were deserving. There were more deserving countries to be placed. Yeah. And there is no such thing that this gonna show anyone's worth or anyone's capabilities to be a queen. Yeah. I think most of the girls could have done the job, especially the ones who already won their nationals and were not placed. Yeah. So like placements, like yeah. So I think a lot of those, but Denmark was placement. So again, same way, everything. All of the girls were competing. They went through this hustle, bustle, and just worked hard. So everyone is deserving. There's no such thing that someone is not. And eventually, from 130 to down to 30.
Yeah,
it's a hard cut.
It's
So
very hard.
100 were left out. We have to remember that.
Yeah.
There were 100 other girls who were left out. And so getting into that top 30 was a massive deal.
Yeah, massive deal. Okay, well, let us know what do you think about our surprises, our pleasant surprises, who surprised you, and yeah, let's continue the conversation.
Bye.
Bye.